Hey, sports card fans, it's John Wade Boggs fan. Hope you're all doing well. I'm back with another video in which I choose my top 5 favorite cards of a particular player. Now, at the end of the last video, I spun the wheel of names and it landed on Dwight Evans, a player that I feel should eventually be in the Hall of Fame. Now, to help me narrow down the choices that I have to pick my top 5 favorite, I went with the PSA Basic Topps Registry checklist. So it's all his base Topps cards of his playing days career, which spanned from 1973 to 1992. So 20 cards in total that I have to choose from to pick my top 5 favorite. Now, here's where I would love all of you to participate as well. In the description of this video, I'll have a link to the PSA Basic Topps Set Registry checklist for Dwight Evans. And you can check out all 20 cards in his playing days run. Now, for this checklist, there are several cards that PSA does not have a direct link to see the image of the card, so you may have to look the images up on a Google search or some other method to take a look at the cards. But in the comments of this video, would love to know which are your top 5 favorite Dwight Evans cards from his Topps run from 1973 to 1992. And if you could list them 1 through 5, 5 through 1, it'll help me compile the results for next week's video. Now, if there's some other non-Topps cards of Dwight Evans that you really like, feel free to put them in the comments as well, and I'll have them as honorable mentions in next week's video. Now, before I get into my top 5 favorite Dwight Evans cards, the previous video was on George Kell, and there were a few of you who put in the comments letting me know which were your top 5 favorite George Kell cards. So I'm going to start off by going over the results of your comments, comparing your favorite cards of George Kell to my top 5 favorite. Then I'll get into my top 5 favorite Dwight Evans cards. I'll show off the graded Dwight Evans cards that I have in my collection, and we'll wrap things up as we always do by spinning the wheel of names to see which player will be featured in next week's video. So let's get started. All right, for George Kell, you had 13 cards to choose from to pick your top 5 favorite. His 1949 Leaf, his 1949 through 55 Bowman cards, his 1952, 53, and 1956 through 58 Topps cards. Now, there were 5 of you who put in the comments letting me know which were your top 5 favorite George Kell cards. So we have some ties here, but here were the cards that had the most number of selections, starting off with his 1952 Topps card and 1956 Topps card. Both of those cards had 4 selections, followed by his 1949 Leaf and 1952 Bowman cards getting 3 selections each. And then there was a 3-way tie for 5th place with 2 votes each for his 1951 Bowman, his 1949 Bowman, and his 1955 Bowman card. Now, there were a few cards that George Kell that didn't get any selections. His 1950, 53, and 54 Bowman cards, and his 1957 Topps card. All right, now there were some honorable mentions of George Kell cards outside of his PSA Set Registry checklist, starting off with the 1947 Tip Top Bread card, then the 1952 Wheaties, the portrait version, then the 1988 Pacific Legends card, followed by the 1990 Pacific Legends card, and finally the 2020 Topps Archives card in the 1955 Topps design. All right, so how does your top 5 favorite rank and compare that to mine? Well, of course, since we have 7 cards here, and because of how the voting was, we have some ties here. So there was a 3-way tie for third with his 52 tops, 56 tops, and 49 leaf card. Now, I had his 1952 tops card as my second favorite. His 1956 tops card was my favorite George Kell card. And my 5th favorite George Kell card was the 49 leaf card. Then in second place, you ranked his 1952 Bowman card, which I had as my 3rd favorite. Then again, there was another 3-way tie for first place with his 1949 Bowman card, which I did not have in my top 5. His 1951 Bowman card, which I had as my 4th favorite. And finally, his 1955 Bowman card, which I did not have in my top 5. All right, on to Dwight Evans. And again, you have to pick your top 5 favorite, as did I. His 20 tops cards from 1973 through 1992. All right, so for my 5th favorite Dwight Evans card, I went with his 1974 tops card. Just like that early image of Dwight Evans, it's his 2nd year card, his first solo card. Just love the stadium in the background, and that uniform that the Red Sox had in the mid 70s. Just really like that. Like the overall image of Dwight Evans. So I put his 74 tops card at my number 5 spot. At number 4, I went with his 1975 tops card. Now I think that may be Fenway Park in the background, although I'm not 100% sure. I would love to know in the comments if you know what stadium that is. I'm not sold on it being Fenway Park, but nonetheless, really like that image there. Again, that same uniform from the mid 70s. The color combination, maybe not so much. Yellow and green. He's not playing for the Oakland A's. He's playing for the Red Sox. But I don't know, just overall, it's a very colorful set, obviously, and just like the overall look of the card. All right, at number 3, one with his 1976 tops card. Now, I mentioned for the previous card, the Oakland A's. It looks like in the background, the players back there have yellow jerseys and white pants. So this may be Oakland Stadium. I'm not sure. Again, would love to know in the comments if you know which stadium that is in the background. But, it's a similar image. But here, I like the color combination a little bit more. You have the red and yellow. Still not complete Red Sox colors. But just love the overall design of the 76 tops card. So I put this one as my 3rd favorite Dwight Evans card. At number 2, the 1978 tops card. Just love this card. Love the uniform, the 78 tops design. Of course, the Red Sox there in that sort of script writing. Love the helmet. Again, that mid to late 70s Red Sox uniform. And I would love to know what patch that is on his left shoulder that I believe was only worn in 78. So Red Sox fans out there, don't hate me for not knowing this, but would love to know in the comments if you know what that patch represents. But yeah, just to me, that is just an outstanding card of Dwight Evans from my favorite set, the 1978 top set. But that wasn't my favorite Dwight Evans card. At number 1, I actually decided to go with his 1991 tops card. Just love that action image, the horizontal image that they used for this. You can tell that obviously he swung and put the ball in play. I don't know if it's a hit or not, but I like the 91 tops design overall. You had that little banner there and the Red Sox in that traditional font. for the Red Sox. Love the color combination with the red and blue going on. You have the 40-year anniversary of Topps. Fenway Park, I'm pretty sure that is Fenway Park because he's in a home Red Sox uniform. Just everything is going great with this card. And actually, if you notice, his bat, they have it going outside of the border of the card into the white outside border, which I think is a cool design touch as well. So I really love this action image shot of Dwight Evans. So I put his 1991 Topps card as my #1 favorite Dwight Evans card. All right, I'm going to turn the camera around now and show off, unfortunately, the few graded Dwight Evans cards that I have in my collection. When I went to pull out the Dwight Evans cards that I have in my collection, I actually thought I had more than I actually do. I thought I had some more of his 70s cards. I knew I didn't have his rookie card, but the oldest card that I have of Dwight Evans currently in my collection is his 1975 Topps card. There's a closer look at that one here. Here's the back. His cards are not that expensive. I picked this one up in a PSA 8, and I forget what I paid for it, but it wasn't a whole lot. But yeah, I need his 73 and 74. I'm also missing his 76. I thought for certain I had his 76, but I don't. I do have his 77. Again, I have it in an 8. Not too difficult to pick this one up in a higher condition. And here is the back of that one. Then this card I just absolutely love, the 78. I have this one actually in a 9. And here is the back. Then I have his 79. Also have that one in a PSA 9. The back of that one. Tied, I'm trying to see what the back here says. Tied World Series record for highest fielding percentage by an outfielder in 7-game series with a 1,000 percentage on 24 chances in 1975 Classic against Reds. So, yeah, I mean, again, for his Hall of Fame credentials, I think he has decent offensive stats. I think he was known for a great defensive outfielder. Not sure. I know he won some Gold Gloves, I believe. I don't know how many, but just an all-around solid ball player for the majority of his career. 19 seasons with the Red Sox, and then his final year actually with the Baltimore Orioles. And his 1992 Topps card features him in an Orioles uniform. So it's a little odd to see Dwight Evans not in a Red Sox uniform. But my final graded card that I have in my collection is his 1980. I have this one in an 8. Sporting I don't know, just a weird haircut. I don't know, maybe it's just the image or whatever, but the locks are certainly flowing there in his 1980 Topps card. And here is the back. Had 191 consecutive errorless game streak in 73 to 74, the 6th best streak in American League history at the time. So there are my Dwight Evans cards. And so now let's get to the Wheel of Names. Spin it and see which player will be featured in next week's video. All right, here is the wheel of names. We have 37 players left to choose from. As you can see, the ones on the right hand side here. So let's give it a spin and see which player is selected. So next week's video is going to be on Ron Santo, a Chicago Cub favorite, Hall of Famer. This should be fun to figure out which are my top 5 favorite Ron Santo cards. And as a final reminder, again, would love to know in the comments, out of all the Topps cards from 1973 to 1992, which are your top 5 favorite Dwight Evans cards? And with that, that's all I have for you. So until next time, thanks for watching.